Hey, what's going on? Felix from Podcasting Secrets, and today I want to talk to you about why I believe sometimes I succeed and why sometimes I fail. And I think it's going to be applicable for a lot of you that are on the process to creating something, whether it be a business or a podcast, and like why sometimes you have streaks of success and why sometimes you don't, whether it be with this project or with others. So I am currently investing a lot of my time and energy in podcasting secrets in this business, in my course, to get people to learn how to launch, grow, and monetize their podcast. And I'm still in this unknown territory where I'm not sure yet if it's going to be successful or not. And it's definitely challenging, right? It's a challenging spot to be because I'm worried about wasting my time. I'm worried about investing my time the right way, am I investing my money the right way into the right things, and it actually kind of stresses me out. It makes me think a lot about it. First thing in the morning, I think about it. Last thing I think about at night is whether I'm spending my time on the right things or not. So it's constantly on my mind, and it's always been a challenge for me to understand, like, why is it that some things I've started that have become successful, like my Shopify Masters podcast and other things I've started, have not been successful, and that I've given up on it. I don't no longer work on certain projects, certain businesses. So, internally, I want something. I want to know if something's going to be. I want to succeed, obviously, right? Because I need to validate to myself that I have something inside me, the wherewithal, the knowledge, the ability to turn nothing into something. That's anytime I am starting a business, putting out a product, putting out a podcast. The idea is to take my thoughts, which are just they aren't tangible, and turn them into something that is valuable. I put on the internet that people enjoy, that listeners can listen to, that customers can buy, and people can get some value out of something that created out of nothing. And externally, I want to just be able to validate to myself, to people, that, hey, look, I can actually have control over my life, right? I actually have success. I actually know what I'm doing. I think a lot of times and I read this in the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, is that everyone's just seeking confirmation, seeking validation that they're doing the right things, that they're living life the right way. So it's important for me to understand, like, what is it that is going to lead me more towards success than failure. And it's a thought that's always on my mind. I kind of had an inkling that I knew the answer, but I just had a podcast I did recently, earlier today, with an entrepreneur that launched a company called Outlaw Soaps. And they basically make soaps that smell like things you wouldn't normally think to make smell, like whiskey and gunpowder and campfire. So things that are interesting, right? Interesting smells that they don't find anywhere else. And they have a super successful company. It grew 600% this year alone, which is crazy. And I asked her in the show, like, what was it that looking back on it, what was it that made you want to keep on doing this? Because they started a company in 2013, so it's been 6 years now. And she said that she was always questioning herself for 5 years straight. And it wasn't until this year, until the 6th year, where she actually felt like, wow, we actually might have something. Every year before that, they always thought to themselves, like, maybe we're not launching the right product. Maybe it's not the wrong industry. Maybe it's the wrong idea. Maybe it's the wrong company. And they always question whether they're doing the right thing or not. So I asked her, like, how was it that you were able to stick in it? Or how was it able that you were sticking out until you get to this point where you were growing like crazy? And she said that it all came down to gratitude. And when I hear people talking about gratitude, I try to be more grateful, right? I try to spend more time writing the gratitude journal, but it's not an answer that I normally wanted to hear. Like, what does gratitude even mean? And she expounded on it. And basically what she's saying was that she looked to what her customers were saying. They were finding that her products were changing their lives. They were super valuable, and that they'll never buy another soap ever again. And just being able to celebrate those small wins is important, because those small wins become the fuel to keep you going. And by the end of the podcast episode, she said something else that was super important, which was that she's only been able to succeed because she stuck it out. Even though she didn't feel successful in the 5 years prior, because she stuck it out and she did not give up, she didn't fail. And I started looking back at my past, my history, and I feel the same way. The only times I ever have failed is when I give up. But when I stick it out and am determined to succeed, and that determination is important, because you are no longer tied to one particular path. Because you're determined to succeed, you see yourself on a mountaintop, you aren't so tied to the path that will take you to the mountaintop, because there are multiple paths to take you there. Just because you go up one path, you spend a lot of time on it, and it fails, you could give up on the entire climb up the mountain, or you just try another path, right? Just being able to be determined enough to keep on going down keep on choosing new paths until you get to the top is important. But you'll exhaust your energy, right? You exhaust your energy, you exhaust your ambition, you exhaust the motivation unless you practice gratitude. That's what gratitude is that I've learned. It's not just about being grateful and like showing appreciation to people for the sake of it. It can be done for almost selfish reasons, right? To be grateful allows you to refuel and get you back on the road and back on the path towards success. So that's what I learned. I learned that I've only been able to succeed because, or during times where I have not given up. And the only way I don't give up is to fuel myself to continue down the path or continue restarting down different paths towards the same mountaintop. And the best way to do that is through gratitude. And that's what I learned. Hopefully that helps you out. Hopefully it at least gives you a new perspective. If you are struggling with your podcast, struggling with the business you're starting, struggling with the services you're offering, struggling to grow your company and get more sales, get more clients, celebrate the wins more, celebrate the small wins, just so that it gives you more fuel to stick in the game, to stay in the game. It's almost like who can keep the campfire going the longest, right? If you can spend time just kind of be upset that the campfire is dying down, dwindling, or that it is not as big as you want, or you can spend time going into the woods and then collecting twigs and branches and wood to fuel that fire. And that collection process, going into the woods, is all about searching for things that you can consider, that you can celebrate as small wins, big or small wins, but celebrate the small wins too. And the way when you celebrate the small wins, that is practicing gratitude. Hopefully it helps you out, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care. Bye bye.